This video will show you how to use the supply chain monitor in the AniMark Conformance System as an operator. Exporters and importers have access to the supply chain monitor using the AniMark Conformance System. Once you've logged in to the AniMark Conformance System, you can navigate to the supply chain dashboard by clicking the supply chain button on the navigation bar here. This will open up your dashboard, which gives you an overview of the information relating to the supply chain monitor. The diagram here represents different supply chains that you've built if you have more than one. This green bar indicates that the supply chain partners in your supply chain that you've created are all certified. Red means that they're either suspended or withdrawn. The suspended or withdrawn clients will also appear here, so you can get an overview at a quick glance about whose certification is maybe suspended or withdrawn. You can toggle between supply chains if you have more than one in the system. This one shows green, meaning everyone's certified in that supply chain. To see supply chains or build supply chains, we can use the navigation bars along the top. So to see supply chains we have in the system already, you can hit supply chain graph. This will take you to the graph page, and again you can select which supply chain you want to have a look at using that supply chain option box there. From this page, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit to make it easy to see. We can see the supply chain that's been built in the system already. So this profile I'm logged into is Made Up Exporter. You can see that the supply chain then sends to Pink Pine Lake Importers, who sends to 2 different feedlots or farms, and down to the different abattoirs. The green little icon indicates certification is certified, and the red means that potentially they're either withdrawn or suspended. So you can click onto this profile, this little button, to get an indication of their company information. You can access their status by clicking on the little person button here. And that will open up their details for you to have a look at. So you can see here that their certification status is suspended, which means that you wouldn't be able to send livestock to that abattoir. You can access information such as their address, contact persons, access their LGAP certificate, have a look at any non-conformities that are in the system which may have resulted in that suspension, just keeping in mind this is a demonstration, so it's just test data at the moment. And you can also access audit reports for that facility as well. You can just download them here. You can do that for everyone that's in your supply chain graph by clicking on the person button after you've selected them on the icon. You can toggle between different supply chains to have a look at the different graphs and statuses as an overview. So select the supply chain and hit the search button to activate that graph. So here we have a very basic one, and as you can see, everyone in there is green, and if you click along, you can access that client's information as well. You can access and build supply chains also using the supply chain list function. So if I click on the supply chain list along the navigation bar here, we can see we've already built 2 supply chains. So one's obviously got that suspended abattoir in it, and the other one's fully certified. To create a new one or have a look at an existing one, you can click on it and open up that list. This is how you build or change or edit the supply chain. So from here, you can actually export all of this data out into an Excel spreadsheet. So if you hit this Excel export button, it will actually pull all that information from that table here into an Excel spreadsheet. So as you can see here, we'll pull out things as the importer and then everyone in that supply chain as it goes through. You're then able to use this information any way you like. It does pull out their address and their risk rating, and if they've got any non-conformities as well. So just heading back into the system, we can see you can also access the company details by clicking on the icon here. And that's where you get the same information as you did from the graph. So you have the company info, the contact persons, the certificates if there's one issued, details of any non-conformities, and you can access audit reports as well. To build a new supply chain, we need to firstly close out of this, and then what we want to do is hit the new button. Now we need to give our supply chain a name. If you have more than one type of livestock certified under your certification, you can choose those, but only ones that you're approved for will show up in that list. And then you can create a name for your supply chain. So just make one up, and then we'll hit save and close. And then what we need to do then now is save and close again, and that will generate the new supply chain. To add our importers, feedlots, farms and abattoirs to our supply chain list, we then need to click on this little plus sign button where it says add new row. From here we have a number field, and what we need to do is input the number that the downstream supply chain partner has given you. They need to give that to you in order for you to access their data. Giving you that number means that you have permission to use and see their certification data. So you need to get that from them in the first instance. So I'm just going to type in some numbers, so just bear with me while I do that. And then once that's in there, we can hit search. And so we have a result down here. So this is our importer. And then what we want to do is add. We want to add them to our supply chain. And then we're going to hit finish. And what that does is that adds that importer as our first stage, so stage 1 in our supply chain list. Importers will maybe just directly go straight to a feedlot. I'm just setting it out for you from exporter to right through to abattoir. To add someone to that importer, so an importer then to a feedlot, to the stage 2, you need to add that next downstream supply chain partner to that stage 1. So you need to use the scroll bar. It might be a bit bigger on your screen if you're using a bigger screen. You need to add someone to that importer. So we're going to hit the add button on that stage 1 person. Then we're going to come into it's the same functionality, and we're going to add that number in for that feedlot and hit search. Then we have a feedlot, and we're going to add them in and then hit finish. And now if we scroll back over, we have them, an importer sending to this feedlot. Now we want to add the abattoir to the feedlot, so that the feedlot's then into an abattoir. We're going to then add again on that level 2, and we're going to search for our abattoir's number that they've given us. So you can hit enter, or you can hit the search function. So now we have our abattoir. We can hit add and finish. You can add multiple at the same time as well on that screen, or you can do it individually, but you just always have to remember to go and add it to that one that's sending it from. So now we have our supply chain. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's all test data, but you can see we've got these, and we can access the company details as well. But the next thing to do is hit save and close, and that will save that supply chain. So if we then wanted to open it up again, we can do that by clicking onto it, and then our supply chain list is here for us, and we have all of the details now there as well. So if we close out of this, we can just go to the supply chain graph to have a look at our new supply chain that we've just built. So SC1 and search. That will bring up our supply chain that we've just built in the system. So it's relatively easily, and you can build it any way you like to see it, as well as export data out of that supply chain list view. So again, you just come into here, open up the list, and hit the Excel export button.